Ford Madox Ford was an important English modernist author. His famous work is the Parade's End series. Some Do Not is the first novel in the Parade's End tetralogy. It was published in 1924. This novel is set in England during the reign of King Edward just before World War One. The society looks good on the surface, but underneath it is not very nice morally. The novel portrays Christopher Tietjens. He is an old-fashioned man, but is honorable and intelligent. He works as a statistician. Christopher Tietjens is a truthful fellow and believes in loyalty to marriage. He feels his duty is to his wife, his home and country. Christopher is a deeply principled man. His wife is Sylvia Tietjens. Sylvia is beautiful, manipulative, and emotionally cruel. She does not like Christopher's moral ethics. She humiliates Christopher and spreads rumors about him. She tries to control Christopher but cannot, so she tries to destroy his reputation. Thus, Sylvia does not care about the marriage. She is emotionally cruel towards Christopher Tietjens all the time. Ford Madox Ford suggests that Sylvia is involved in affairs with other men, although he does not describe these relationships. Ford suggests that Sylvia had lovers both before and during the marriage to Christopher Tietjens. Sylvia allows rumors of her infidelity to circulate. She sometimes deliberately encourages scandal to torture Christopher emotionally. She wants to dominate, wound, and emotionally control Christopher. Christopher knows or suspects Sylvia's infidelities, but he refuses to leave Sylvia because to him a vow of marriage once made is sacred. Christopher remains loyal to the marriage. Then Ford portrays Valentine Wannop. She is a young suffragette and intellectual. She is independent, honest, and morally courageous. Valentine and Christopher fall in love, but do nothing about it. Christopher does not want to betray his marriage. Valentine respects Christopher's code of loyalty, even though it is painful for her. Their love is restrained, dignified, and tragic. Ford also shows social hypocrisy in the society. Society has no moral code. Politicians, journalists, and social climbers lie to the people. They manipulate the public. They reward dishonest people and suppress honest opinion. Those who lie succeed, those who are truthful suffer. The title of the novel is Some Do Not. It means that some people do not lie, some people do not cheat, some people do not abandon their principles. Christopher is one of those rare people. Ford asks the in the novel whether such moral purity can survive in the modern world. The second novel of the series is No More Parades, published in 1925. This novel is set in World War One. Christopher Tietjens is now an officer in the British Army. He is stationed behind the Western Front. He works in administration and supply. There is incompetence, favoritism, and bureaucracy in the wartime system. But Christopher is honest, methodical, and principled. These qualities cause problems for him in the war environment. Less capable officers advance because of influence and social connections. Christopher does not flatter anyone, so Christopher does not advance in the workplace. He remains frustrated and isolated. Christopher Tietjens' marriage to Sylvia is troubled. Sylvia is possessive and unpredictable. She tries to ruin Christopher socially. Sometimes she tries to emotionally reconcile with Christopher. Other times Sylvia provokes jealousy and scandal. Even though Christopher is posted on the Western Front, he is still psychologically affected by his marriage. Christopher loves Valentine Wannop. She works in the civilian war service. Christopher and Valentine are morally restrained. They do not marry because Christopher does not want to break his marriage vows to Sylvia, even though Sylvia has repeatedly betrayed him. The love between Christopher and Valentine is marked by sacrifice rather than passion. The novel's title, "No More Parades", means that the old ceremonial orderly world symbolized by military parades, social manners, and Edwardian confidence is finished. War strips away social, romantic, and heroic illusions. Christopher Tietjens is overworked, misunderstood, and pushed towards the front line. The third novel in the series is A Man Could Stand Up, published in 1926. The setting is is the final phase of World War One. Christopher is sent to the front lines into direct combat. He faces bullets, artillery, exhaustion, and death. The title, "A Man Could Stand Up", comes from a military command shouted when shelling stops. It means a time when the guns fall silent and people dare to imagine life beyond constant fear. Christopher Tietjens faces survivor's guilt. He is exhausted from being in the war. This novel is about release: release from war, release from fear, and release from rigid moral absolutism. Now Christopher and Valentine must decide what kind of life is possible after the devastation of war. Christopher emotionally detaches from Sylvia. Their marriage is dead in spirit. The fourth and final novel of Parades and series is Last Post, published in 1928. The setting of the novel is after World War One in the early 1920s in the English countryside. The Great War has ended. The old Edwardian world is gone. Society has changed politically, socially, and morally. Christopher has withdrawn from public life. He now lives in a modest rural cottage with Valentine Wannop. She is the woman whom he loves truly. Christopher has been deeply affected by World War One. He has suffered shell, shell shock or psychological trauma. He is mentally quiet and physically weak. He is almost absent. Christopher represents the old world that is fading away. Ford portrays Valentine as Christopher's partner and caretaker in this novel. Valentine is practical, modern, and honest, so she represents the new world. Valentine is pregnant with Christopher Tietjen's child. This pregnancy shows hope and renewal after destruction. Christopher is damaged but dignified. Valentine is calm. Sylvia is chaotic. Valentine accepts Christopher as he is. Ford also portrays Mark Tietjens, Christopher's brother. Mark is paralyzed and unable to speak. Much of this novel is Mark's interior thinking. Ford shows that aristocratic and traditional hierarchy has declined in modern Britain. Sylvia appears again, but her power is diminished. She makes one last attempt to control Christopher, but is not successful. The title of the novel is Last Post. Last Post is the bugle call played at military funerals. Here, the title Last Post means the burial of Old England and the death of rigid Victorian morality. Ford shows the end of aristocratic dominance and the closing of a historical era. This novel is about the aftermath of World War One. The parade is over, the noise has stopped. What remains are wounded people trying to build a quieter future. In the Parade's End series, Ford shows the collapse of Edwardian and the devastation of World War One. The other themes are the cost of absolute moral rigidity and the possibility of renewal through love and adaptation. At the start, Christopher Tietjens is a man of old-fashioned honor. At the end, he is a quiet man in a changed world. That quietness is the true last post. Christopher does not triumph, nor does he become great. Rather, he finds peace, love, fatherhood, and rural simplicity. The series ends not with glory but with survival.